We welcome Mikey, McManus, and Rusch, the creators and two of the personalities from Ora TV's newest show, Wayward Nation. Wayward Nation is the story of five friends and their search for a renewed American dream as they venture to different parts of the United States by way of an RV named Janice to meet and learn from young pioneers helping make America a better place. Wayward Nation is now available on demand on Ora TV. What inspired this?
I think that the inspiration came from a number of different places. For me, I had moved across the country and traveled across the country a number of times. And I had met people along the way, and I felt that they had stories to tell, and that no matter where you were, people were doing amazing things. And I brought it to Mikey, and he had a sort of different take on it and what he wanted to do.
What was your take?
I actually got a phone call a few years back from Ethan, who's my co-host on the show, and we joke that Ethan's kind of a worthless hippie, and he had been working at an environmental nonprofit and decided he wanted to go explore the world and invited me to come with him on a several-month trip to South America. And I was like, no, well, why would I do that? I've got a career. And I was in a nice office overlooking Sunset Boulevard, and I looked out the window and I was like, well, what am I doing? This is meaningless. And so wanted to try to find a project that actually had meaning.
And that's this project.
Yeah, and I sort of had the same thing.
What were you doing before?
I was an editor at an ad agency, and it was a very fun job, and I enjoyed it. But there was something in me that yearned for more, to use what I had skill-wise to make something that could be meaningful to other people across the world.
What were you doing in that office?
I was making reality TV.
That's fun, isn't it?
It's fun.
It was fun, and the company was great. They taught me a lot about the industry. They taught me how to get stuff done, how to be a good storyteller, and they were really, really supportive when I told them that I have a different dream, and they actually helped me.
Now, the opening credits say that you guys are searching for a new American dream. What new American dream? What are you searching for?
I think that we're at a very sort of unique time in our nation's history right now where, industrialism is going away. And there's more than ever, our generation is reaching adulthood and looking for work and looking for answers. And there are a few people out there who are, it's a growing trend of young people who have found a way to do what they love and also make the world a better place.
Yeah, and I think to a certain extent, it's, you hear it all the time, it's unobtainable. The new American dream is unobtainable, there's no jobs. But I think for us and for our generation, we're trying to find people who've sort of created their own jobs based on their own skill set and what they love to do, but then also use that to make the world a better place, to give back,
So how do you find the people you find?
They found us. Weirdly enough, they found us, and it came from us sharing it amongst our friends when we first had the idea to, it was about a year before the time we actually, launched out of Los Angeles on our great sort of expedition. But over that time, people would contact us, hey, have you heard about this person? Have you seen this article? And we just call them up.
And
we find their contact.
You find these people and follow them around, talk to them?
Yeah, I mean, when we were on the road, what we did is we went and would meet up with them, and either, instead of just talking with them or, profiling what their business was, we decided, let's go on an adventure. We'll do a challenge, or we'll do some type of adventure with them and get their message out along the way.
You do an adventure like?
Episode 1, we meet Yale Cohen, who's the founder of a charity called F Cancer, and we challenged her in 24 hours, whoever could raise the most money for her charity on the Strip in Las Vegas. If we beat her, she had to go through with an impromptu Vegas shotgun wedding with our co-host Ethan, who is madly in love with her.
Let's watch a clip from Mikey and Eric on the road with Wayward Nation. This is from first one. Watch.
I need you to do one thing before we get married.
Yeah, of course. What?
I need you to make sure your dad knows what cancers he gets at highest risk for, what the earliest warning signs are. Have the chat.
There you go, bub.
Hey, Dad. It's Ethan.
Hey, Ethan. Hi.
I need to talk to you about cancer. 90% of cancer is beatable if it's caught in stage 1.
There is a new test where they can screen your feces for DNA.
I'm asking you to go get tested.
I'll do it.
Thanks, Pop.
Now, what's happening there?
So that is on the altar in Vegas before Yale has to pony up and go through with the wedding proposal or with the shotgun wedding. And what we want to do in every episode is like every episode
she's
is
a
about.
very beautiful girl.
Well, you can see where the contest came from. It was very impromptu and it was very real and in the moment.
Sort of lined up to get
married. Yeah. But what happened was, you know, we wanted to make sure that in every episode, we're telling the story of her. And she's our hero. She is our pioneer who's rewriting the American dream. And so we wanted to make sure that the message that our audience takes home is her message. And her message is very straightforward. 90% of cancer is curable if it's caught during stage 1. And so she has a call to action for Gen Y to talk to their parents about cancer and confront them. And so that's literally what we did. Ethan called his dad on the altar and said, you got to get yourself screened for cancer. And he agreed to do it, and he did it. And he's cancer-free.
Who funded the trip?
I mean, it started from a lot of different places. You know, when we still had our jobs in the ads and reality business, at one point, the very initial funding came from me giving up my apartment here in Los Angeles, keeping my job, and living in the trunk of my car for, you know, half a year to a year, and just saving the rent money up. And that started it, and then there was a Kickstarter campaign that followed.
Oh, you've used it through the internet.
Yeah, we raised 32 grand on Kickstarter thanks to 412 amazing supporters.
Well, how many have you done?
How many episodes?
How many, yeah.
12. There's 12 episodes in the series. They're 8 to 10 minutes apiece, and we went, I mean...
Well, what do you do now? The 12 are done? Are you going to do other things? Is Wayward Nation going to be part 2?
I hope so. I mean, we only covered, you know, 12 states, and there's many more left to go. And
38.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to keep this thing going. We want to continue to tell these sorts of stories because I feel like it's moving in the right direction and it's showing, you know, people who have sort of figured it out, and we've only got really good feedback from it so far, and you know, we want to keep sort of telling these kinds of stories.
Let's take a look at the RV. There's Janice, the RV, Wayward Nation. Why Janice?
We got Janice from a man named Steve in Burbank, and he used to go on road trips with his wife Janice all the time. And he was selling her, his wife passed away, and we named her Janice after his wife and the sense of adventure that they had together.
What do you want people to take away from this?
I want people to take away the fact that we're at a time now where when young adults are sort of becoming more empowered in the workplace, in both private and public sector, and if we can make good on the promise of the American dream and at the same time start to tackle some of the really big problems that our world is facing, we can sort of steer the ship right back.
Any misconceptions about the American dream?
I mean, I think the biggest one is that it's dead. I mean, you hear it all the time. And we went around and, you know, maybe it's changed a little bit. Maybe it's different to our generation. But I don't think it's dead. I think we just look at it a little differently. You know, I think our priorities are in doing everything that we want to do, I mean, and helping out. I mean, we've been brought up in a society where giving back and helping out has been something taught to me ever since I was in kindergarten.
You always find creative people?
Yeah.
You do, don't you? They're everywhere.
Yeah, and that was one of the biggest sort of epiphanies was when we were filming, I don't want to give too much away, but when we were filming our finale episode, we were in a place that was sort of uncharted for us and telling this amazing story of this amazing doctor in Boston who is an American hero at the Boston Marathon bombing. And while we were telling her story, we just randomly bumped into these other people who were starting this string of charities, and it was almost a culmination of everywhere we went. Not only were we finding the people that we set out to find, but we were finding so many other people who just either loved the idea or were inspired by it or had an idea of their own or were really already starting something of their own.
We have some behind-the-scenes clips, I understand. Tell us what we're seeing.
So this is episode 2. On the right, that's Emily Niehaus. She's in Moab, Utah, and she does affordable straw bale home construction. And so we spent a week in Moab getting really dirty, building a house with her out of straw and mud. And that's Ethan on
That's
the
our
left.
co-host Ethan, yeah.
What's that?
This is lunch on top of Janice.
Yeah, that's our typical lunch spot. We would pull to the side of the road, climb to the top, and make some noodles with sriracha, because that's what was in the budget.
Non-existent
What are you doing
budget.
here?
That's Ricky. He's a coffee roaster in Colorado, and for every bag of coffee he sells, he helps fund clean water projects around the world.
These are people helping people a lot,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I mean, the current thread is, we refer to them as pioneers, and that's sort of a term we've applied, but it's people who have figured out a way to do what they love in their own passion, but do it in a way that makes the world better.
What's the biggest misconception about millennials, do you think?
I don't know. It's
they're
hard. I
not
don't
doing
really.
anything.
I don't really think about it.
Yeah,
that
we
much.
don't pay attention to the negative noise.
It's not helpful necessarily. Like I don't know. I think everyone's out there doing stuff and doing things that are helping, and there's more millennials out there doing it than I think people know. And they may not be joining the general workforce in the old way of doing it, but they're doing it in their own little way in their own communities.
Are many of these people making good money?
Some of them, yeah.
Some yes, and it ranged.
Yeah, and some not. Like, we didn't make anything. We lost a lot of money making ours.
So what are you guys going to do now?
The next
You got
project
the
for
12.
us
What's next?
is a feature film about the road trip.
Good idea.
The whole thing start to finish. There's so much more footage and stuff that happened behind the scenes and the journey that it can't possibly just fit into the show. So there's that on its way, and then
I mean,
think-
essentially what happened is the RV broke down.
I knew there was something. Can't wait. Best luck with the film.
thank you.
I can't wait to see the whole series. A big thanks to my guests, Mikey McManus and Eric Rusch. Make sure to join my guests and the rest of the Wayward Nation team. Available now, on demand on Ora TV. As always, you can find me on Twitter at King's Things. See you next time. Can't wait to see this.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.